Hey, 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 everyone. I'm Becca. He's Matt, and this is Book Love Podcast. And today I am pitching a series that I started what feels like an eon ago to Matt to see if he might be interested in reading it.
My God. Okay. I have heard about the Black Witch Chronicles. I think the very, very first episode of the podcast that we did where we just talked about like how we got into reading and crap like that, you mentioned this damn thing. Like, okay. So the Black Witch Chronicles.
Are you ready for it?
I've heard you talk about it so many times. I can't tell you what this shit is about other than there be witches.
Yes. All right. So the Black Witch Chronicles was written by Laurie Frost. Sorry, not Frost. Forest. I don't know why I really want her to be Frost, but it's definitely Forest. It is 5 books and 2 novellas, if you want to call them novellas. And it is a fully completed series now. So go get on it.
Say that again. How many? There's 2 novellas, 4 novellas. Say
2
those numbers again.
2 novellas and 5 books. So I'll get
5 books. Okay.
into the reading order.
Okay.
All right. So I read them in numerical order of like kind of what you'll find their numbers next to their things. So I started with they call it a novella, which is Wandfasted in late July of 2023. I would call this a true novella. It is 234 pages, and it is labeled 0.5 in the series. And it follows basically a whole generation prior to our first book that starts off with the Black Witch, and it sets up the world really nicely. And you you start first in this chapter with a barn fire and our main character, and you realize that our main character maybe is living in poverty. She's an outcast of her society, and she is hated for her green skin and her mage characteristics. So they're not called witches in the series, they're called mages. And that is where I will leave that book.
Was this 0.5 prequel? It was not published first, right? It was published sometime later?
I want to say it was published later, but I don't know that for sure.
Okay. I know there's going to be some people out there on the internet that are like, no, you don't read in numerical order. You read and publish. I don't know. So I was just curious. Whatever.
Right? You do you. You read in whatever order you want.
Amen. Amen, sister.
But
Amen.
This was the book I happened upon first because I actually found the series because I think it was one of those like ready now books where like there was no holds on it. So it was really super easy to get access to it from the library. And it sets up this world where you realize that there's sectors of people that don't get along with people, and they have been warring over this for a lifetime, right? So when this series first came out, Laurie was kind of criticized, and people were like, this is very bigoted, this is very xenophobic. And that's actually the whole thing she's calling out as problematic.
It's
and is the whole
it's
baseline.
realistic.
Right. Oh, who would have thought? This is maybe commentary on normal life and the fact that we maybe need to learn how to love our neighbors. But anywho.
Maybe.
Just maybe. All right. So then the first book of the actual series is The Black Witch, and it is numbered number 1. And it is, it's a thicker book for a first book, so it's 645 pages. This is why I would recommend starting with the novella of Wandfasted, because that novella does an excellent job of setting up the world so that you have context when you start this book. And 2, if you hate that world, you can ditch out early if you want.
I don't know if you know the answer to this. Was Laurie Forest like a new author when she wrote this series?
I have no idea.
I know that there are rules, air quote rules, that like as a new author, your first book should never really be more than like 300-ish pages, especially in the fantasy world. I was just 600 some pages is a really long book for a first book into a series. And I am not scared by big books, but like,
yeah. And it's well
I'm actually
crafted.
kind of intrigued because it's big.
Yeah, it's well crafted. So I would guess this is not her first magical system, and you would be very appreciative. There is a sound magical system that you can kind of follow. It does evolve over time, as many magical systems do. But so this follows our actual main character of the series, whose name is Ellerin, which I just think is
Oh,
gorgeous.
that's pretty.
And she starts secondary school, where both of her brothers already go. And at the beginning, when she starts at school, she is wand tested. So this is part of their world, and found to
Wand
have
like swish and flick.
like swish and flick.
Right on. Okay.
So she's wand tested, and she's found to have no power. Womp womp. And of course, she is paired in a dorm room with some of the most powerful females in her group, and
Of
they
course,
bully her incessantly,
we love a good dichotomy.
right?
Yeah.
To the point where she says, "Can I leave this dorm room?" And she gets sent to a dorm room of outcasts. In particular, it's two Icaruls. And Icaruls are kind of like demons, if you will. Um, and so they are very outcasted members of society. They're very hated. There seem to be like negative, very negative connotation around these Icaruls. And so she's living with Icaruls, which is not a good sign, especially the magedom, who think they're all high and mighty, really hate the Icaruls because there's a prophecy. Because how do you have a series without a prophecy?
Okay.
Um, Speaking of which, in this prophecy, um, it is about a black witch and an Icarul fighting to save the world. And this is a reoccurring prophecy, and Elrin's grandmother was the previous black witch. Dun dun dun.
Ah, okay. All
So
right.
people doubly hate Ellerin because she's not her grandma's granddaughter. And then, as part of, being in a post-secondary school, she does end up with a work study where she works in the kitchen, and she gets exposed to a couple other varieties of magical creatures within the system. And she gets to learn and kind of develop relationships with those individuals.
Hmm. Okay. Um, may I ask if the mages and Icaruls merely hate each other from like a racism and bigot standpoint, or uh has it already what word am I looking for? Has it already evolved towards like actual violence and unaliving and
Yes. So there's been a really strong history of violence and unaliving. We go through this historical time period where the mages are kind of like the ones that are used and abused across the system. They work their way up, and then they use and abuse other classes of characters, right? So you get that kind of flipping of like they used to be the bottom of the pack, now they're the top of the pack, and man, they did not learn anything about being on the bottom other than how to oppress other people.
so may I ask is it how contentious is school if this is like an I don't man, this is not a fun word to use, but since it's an integrated school,
Huh?
uh,
Yeah,
how contentious is that if they're offing each other in the real world?
that's actually part of the problem. Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay.
And there's discussions of shutting down the school.
Oof.
Uh-huh.
Wait, are they gonna shut down the school because of a basilisk or
No, many other many other magical creatures, but no basilisks. There are
can
snake people though.
how would you, uh how would you compare this school setting, like, because we've read other stuff, so you get, like, Fourth Wing with the school setting, and you have Harry Potter with the school setting, and I don't think you've read Vampire Diaries, but that has the school setting, and how does this school setting compare to the others? Is it, like, sorta just par for the course, or is this, like, different to you?
I would say it's kind of par for the course, right? So there's the dormitory component of it where people are living at it. So it gives this post-secondary vibe. But Ellerin's not like 18, so this isn't like college necessarily. It does have kind of the Fourth Wing War college vibes to it. Like they're trying to figure out everyone's skill set, sharpen those skill sets, and fight for the magedom.
Um May I ask where this world is? Is this its own made up world, or is this like a subterranean place of our world, a made up world? Okay, I like that.
Totally made up world. You start in Gardenaria, and the world continues to expand as the series goes on.
Okay, I'm liking this so far. Where does book two go? Or were you going to even go past book?
Now I have a little bit more for each of the
Okay,
books.
let's do it. Let's do it. All right.
So the next book is another novella, actually. So this one's called Light Mage, and its number is 1.5. Again, you read in whatever order you want to read in, but this it's a good order. Laura knew what she's doing. It's a good order.
You got to love those authors with a plan.
Heaven forbid. So it's 304 pages, and this follows a new to us character that we did not meet in the previous two books. And her name is Sage. And Sage is gifted with a power that's long been demonized by the mage culture. So,
Sage the Mage.
yes, Sage the
I
mage.
I kind of I kind of like that. Keep
Yeah.
Please proceed.
Yeah. So, this magic system, right? We've got the wand, whatever, but you don't just have like wand power casually. It's about elemental power that you have in of yourself, right? So our main character, Ellerin, has none. Others have fire power, you have water power, wind power, ice power. I can't name them all necessarily because it's been, 3 years since I read this series. But the mages do not like people who have light power, and light power comes very rarely. Now, this gets back to some of the religious cultural implications that you starting to learn about how heavy this dictates this series, which I think is really interesting. So, the mages, remember their skin is green, love the colors green, black, and white. Entire world is made up of these colors.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And so light mages aren't really appreciated because light mages are drawn to the terrible colors, the demon colors, like purple and yellow and all these other colors. And
Okay.
so Sage is like fighting with herself because she has this power that she's has this really big draw to and whatnot, but she can't do anything with it. Also, back to like real culture and society, women aren't supposed to have wands. Women aren't supposed to have power, right? So then this makes it doubly dangerous for Sage.
I feel like there's a very obvious phallic metaphor there that is gonna be like reinforcing the whole patriarchy thing.
I will say when I was
Mm.
reading Wandfasted, I was on an airplane with my brother-in-law who read one paragraph and he's like, "Oh, so do we have a sword fight going on with these wands?" So she definitely leans into that a little bit too.
Listen, I am not mad about the allegory. I actually think, even especially right now in this shit-tastic world, I think we could use more allegory. People in general could use more allegory. They need more reinforcement. Anyway,
Sounds like this is the book for or series for you.
I'm a little on board at the moment. Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
now we have all this additional context given the novellas that we've read. So then we start in on Iron Flower, which is the next academic year for Ellerin, which is the second book, of which we learn a little bit more about this religious culture. And iron flowers are a big part of this religious culture because the mages are heavily drawn to earth and iron trees, iron wood, iron flowers. And so you get a lot of context of this religious setup.
Hmm.
And in classic fantasy, this is also where war starts, right?
You mean in like the history of the world in general, this is where war starts? I believe in God. God wants us to be peaceful, so I'm going to kill you. That's
Mhm.
essentially human history in a nutshell. Y'all are welcome. You don't need to go to school now. Okay.
Flower is 608 pages. So this
This
is a
woman's got a
heavy.
plan. I love
She's got a
this.
plan. She's got a plan. And this plan continues with, of course, there's a good wand and a bad wand. And the Shadow Wand is book 3.
Okay. All right.
And the Shadow Wand is, of course, the bad wand.
Are wands like sentient or autonomous? Can they do anything in and of themselves? Like, what makes the wand a bad wand?
It, I think, for lack of better terminology, heightens negative powers. And in specifically, the Shadow Wand kind of sucks powers out of the world. Turns everything gray.
That man, let's just keep going with the phallic allegory there, because that. Are you sure? Did this? When were these books written? 24. What did you say? 2014. The first
No, I
book.
think she started in 2017.
This is just such a spot on.
Mhm.
It's so spot on
Yeah.
to what's like. Okay. Anyways, the Shadow Wand is the third book. All right.
Yes.
All right.
So in this, I'm pretty sure it's the third book, but I could be wrong because I would like to remind everyone that I read these back in 2023. But I believe the Shadow Wand is also where we start to get more point of views of the various characters. So we're no longer stuck solely in Elloren's world. We are learning a little bit more about all of the different characters' point of views.
Many characters are there? Ballpark, like half a dozen, two?
More than half a dozen.
More
So
than.
some of the main characters that come up a lot previous to even the Shadow Wand. So she has 2 love interests, Lucas and Yvonne. And then the 2 Icarals that she's living with, right? We've got Ariel and Winter are those 2 ones. So those 5 characters are really important. You also have her 2 brothers, and you get their point of views later on. And her 2 brothers are also struggling with being demonized within their culture. In specific, one of them is gay. And so you get a little bit of that perspective as well as for those characters, which I really appreciated. And then you also start getting Sage's point of view after Light Mage, that novella.
Okay.
And then it's not till later on that you get an additional 4 or 5 point of views.
Does this do they ever leave school, or is the entirety of the series kind of contained within their school years?
Nah, they leave school because war,
Okay, fair. Okay, fair.
right?
Would
So the
you okay, so I you uh Elloren, and I can't remember. I don't think you've mentioned who the Icaral chosen one is, but like they are chosen ones because of the prophecy. Uh I don't want spoilers. I don't want spoilers, but I am curious, are they're saving the world.
Mhm.
Are they saving the world against a big bad, or are they saving the world against like ephemeral bad stuff?
Yes, and that continues to evolve. So part of the plot line is they don't know who the Icaral is. They think Elloren might be the Black Witch, but they also think another character is the Black Witch, one of the ones that was bullying Elloren. So they're also trying to figure out who actually is within whom in this prophecy. And the mages believe that this prophecy, the Black Witch, will bring a coming of age where the mages will fully be pretty much the only ones left on the world. And if they fail, then they will be back to the lowest of the totem pole.
Would you classify this as fantasy or romance? Like, is there a romance element in it?
Yeah, yeah. She has this little um between Lucas and Yvonne kind of who is she gonna pick, who will she not pick kind of love triangle going on.
Is the romance spicy, or is this like a PG romance?
It starts PG and then it continues to get spicier.
Dude. Okay, I'm loving everything that you're throwing at me. Because I'm not gonna lie, we've read some romantices where it's like spicy from chapter 2, and you're just
Mhm.
like, could I just like, is there a little breathing? Can we initiate? Can we learn?
There's lots of longing.
Oh, there's dick. So I like the fact that this ramps up. I like the things that ramp up. I think that that is real life.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And
then the
sorry if I just offended anybody that just jumps into it after the first date or something, but like that's
yeah.
anyway. Hmm.
So then the fourth book is 672 pages. It's called The Demon Tide. I finished the fourth book September 4th of 2023. I started the novella end of July 2023. Okay? I read 6 books this long in about a month and a half.
Did you read them or listen to them?
I read all of these.
Oh, good on you, girl. That's a lot of pages.
I think that says a lot about these books. And my reading pace is a little on the slower end, so you know that I was compelled through all of these. Um, Demon Tide really opens up the whole expanse of the world. You get these wonderful maps first off, so that helps to give you context. But you're in like I can't remember if it's Demon Tide or Shadow Wand, but like a secondary war college gets the one of the brothers goes there, and you get a little bit more of this world, all of these other magical creatures that the mages have never heard of because oh God forbid. Um, you get more of the love story of the brother. You get some of the other love stories that are going on, some of the other cultures and their cultural significances, which is really cool. 10 out of 10.
Anything you want to say about the final book?
So the final book, I did opt to listen to it because I started reading it. And okay, so we already talked about the fact that sometime around Demon Tide, we're flipping between about 10 points of view. So it's a lot of characters, it's a lot of history, it's a lot of made up words that support these different worlds, right? And I could not keep track of them by the time I was reading this in I think I tried to read it in August of 2025. So I decided to opt to listen to it, which helped immensely with trying to get back into the book. And part of that was super helpful because you don't you don't get Elrin's point of view until like a third of the way through the book.
Okay.
And I was like, wait a second, where'd Elrin go? Dryad Storm, the final book, I just finished in the beginning of January. Listening to it, it's over 30 hours of book,
Woo!
or 752 pages. And it is a beautiful, beautiful ending to this story. You get all these different love stories that are going on, the resolution to the war, um, a major twist at the end that you're like, I knew that. I didn't know that was coming, but I should have known that. I should have known that. And it is so satisfying.
If so, why was there such a gap between book 5 and the Dryad Storm? Was that literally you had to wait for it to be published? Was it a Libby thing? Was it
I think one part of it, I think the Dryad Storm wasn't published until late 24.
okay? So like a year after you,
Yes. And
yeah,
then I was
okay,
waiting for it on Libby and then um,
and then this.
rewaited for the audiobook. Yeah.
Do you think that the Dryad Storm would have been like super easy to just read if it would have been available back in like the end of 2023? Yeah.
Yeah. I would recommend binging this series together.
Okay. But based on how the fact that you read it so quickly, this doesn't sound complicated. Like I'm not trying to undermine it. I'm trying to it seems very approachable and consumable.
Yes. Very approachable, very consumable. She's not hiding anything from you. It is very complex, but you don't need to write notes and you don't think that she's like, you don't need to make note of these tiny little details that are going to come bite you in the butt if you don't remember.
I like that. I can't tell you anything that gives me a red flag. I like how it's going to work on so many different levels, but yet it's not so complex that you have to have like some PhD to figure out the fantasy. If I'm being honest, I love a good romance. I love.
You get like 6 love stories in this.
I'm gonna read this. And immediately I'm just thinking of like when am I gonna read the
Can buddy read this with you because A, big love, but also I think it would be fun to read it along.
Oh, uh, if you want to do that, I am down. Like, yeah, read some Catherine Shellman, take a break from fantasy, and then hit this shit hard.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay, I'm gonna go on this lady's website, and I bet on her website, most authors have this. They will have a recommended reading order, and um, usually my gut tells me to. I've always in the past read things in published order
Hmm.
because that's how the fandom read it, uh, allegedly, right? But I've now started like, no, I'm just going to take the author's advice. If the series is completely done and the author is telling you read it in this order, I'm going to follow that. So, ooh, this is going to be a fun buddy read. I'm looking forward to this. I also already like this author because she seems to be very engaging online. And like, not that I need authors to like repost our stuff, but after the book fest
Yeah.
that we went to, after interviewing some authors, whatever, like it is so much more fun to read books and be able to talk to the author. Um, but some authors are not engaging online at all. They, which is fine. You write a book, you live your life. I don't care. But so, part of me is kind of like hopeful that we're gonna buddy read this and like Laurie Forest might like talk like behind the scenes, like even just in comments or something. Like it's always fun. That makes me excited. Man, why did it take you so long to tease this entire series to me?
I was busy this fall, okay? I was so busy this fall. And then I was waiting on this book, and then I tried reading the last one, and it was really hard. So we have to read the last one since I couldn't make it through last time. I can't listen to this book. I have to read the last one.
Okay. Well, that'll be easy if we're reading everything straight through. You'll be able to pick it back up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm sold. I'm sold. It's on the TBR, and more than on the TBR, it feels like it's already scheduled. Like between the two of us, like 4 books from now. Yeah. Oof. Okay. All right.
And this is why sometimes you DNF other series so you can make space for things like this.
Anything else? I'm
Anything
sold.
more that I give will either be spoilers I forgot were spoilers or whatnot. But 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Almost every book is probably a 4.5 to a 5 on my rating scale.
Ooh, that's high praise. That is high praise.
This is a book series that I have told anyone and everyone to go read, like even my 2 good friends who are not romantasy readers, and they were like, "Oh, Becca, I think I like romantasy. What other books have you read like this?"
All right. I'm in. I'm in. We're gonna do it. I'm in. Uh I got no notes. I'm in.
Love it.
Hook, line, sinker.
All right, well, let's put a bookmark in it for now.
Sounds like a plan. We we do book things and we'll be back with more book things.
If you'd
Yep.
like to contact us or work with us, all of our contact information is in the description below. Until next time.
Until next time, y'all. See ya.